Protests have rocked the All Progressive Congress in Imo State over the alleged imposition of chairmanship candidates ahead of the September 21, 2024 council elections in Imo State. Etienne gathered that one of the areas affected is the Oguta council area of the state. Stakeholders of the party under the Oguta Unity Forum, through their spokesperson, Chief Kenneth Obi, said the zoning arrangement was under threat in Oguta, alleging that the nomination of Ifeanyi Nnani as chairmanship candidate was against zoning arrangement between Oguta North and South. He argued that Honorable Ifeanyi Nnani, who hails from Oguta North, currently holds a key position in the political equation, with the present House of Assembly member also from the North. He said this situation has sparked dissatisfaction among party members and residents in Oguta, particularly those from Oguta South who feel marginalized by the move. He called on the leadership of the APC in Imo State to uphold a long-standing zoning arrangement in Oguta in the interest of peace and fair play in the local government area. According to him, the zoning arrangement ensures that when one section of the local government area produces the House of Assembly representative, the chairmanship position is given to the opposite section. Party leaders noted that as the election date draws closer, all eyes are on Governor Uzodimma and the leadership of the APC in Imo State to resolve the issue in a manner that promotes fairness, equity, and peace in Oguta local government area. Chizi, what do you make of this story?
You know, first is to note that APC is in government in Imo State. That means Hope Uzodimma is of the APC. And of course, ordinarily, there should be some internal crisis in the local government election because, Choma can say it here without doubt, that it is almost assumed that as soon as you become the candidate of the APC, you are almost the chairman of the party. Of course, given from, I mean, I'm taking instance from what has happened around this our place. No wonder that happened. He also has said that the man is holding positions in government, and then he's calling on Hope Uzodimma. I may not be right because I'm not God to not know that as a politician, that for somebody who is holding a position with governor to have come to become the chairman, that the governor has asked him to go and be the chairman. But again, he's talked about the zoning, and the area he talked about the zoning is
between Oguta North, and
Oguta South, and his logic is based on the House of Assembly, you know, elections and all of that. You know, in every place there are certain permutations that people carry out to be able to do. Have you asked whether in his own whether somebody from that place is not the person who is just concluding the chairmanship position? He hasn't said all of that. Because you see, for instance, assuming that we are from Ikwere, I'm from Ikwere, and that we have constituency 1 and constituency 2 in Ikwere, and we always zone this thing like that. Supposing that somebody from that north, from that south, is just completing his chairmanship of that. But
his argument in this instance
is the assembly.
He's both assembly and chairmanship. He's going to Oguta North.
No. You see,
leaving Oguta South.
No, that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. It is not going. The assembly member is already there. Maybe trying to leave in 2027. It's also, I'm not just saying it because I don't have that information very correctly. But I am also saying that maybe you should have come out to say that the last person that is finishing, that I just finished local government chairman, is from that same place. That's why you begin to look at it. It's not the assembly, because you see, when I am also saying, when they elected the first chairman who is from his own place, the assembly was from the other place. No wonder that was not the issue then. And now the thing wants to turn. And so the chairman wants to come to this place. The assembly will not resign because the assembly will only leave by 2027. So these people can also come with logic that maybe the assembly, that's assuming that the chairman...
That's what is in play.
Assuming that's what is in place. So that's why I said he has not carried out all the logics. We would have heard about, because that's the first thing you would have said. For me, it would have been between who was the last chairman? Where was the last chairman coming from? And then this other chairman. Because if the chairman was coming from that his place, so they would also give back because assembly member is here. Assembly member will be leaving by 2027. And so what they will say is, this assembly is coming to this place. Maybe in 2027, the assembly will go back to this other place, assuming that's what had played out. But you see, I've always said this. That is the reason why I quarrel with the leaders of our law. We are more ethnically biased than we allow ourselves to pen it down. I mean, it is not a constitutional matter. Anybody can become chairman from anywhere. It's not a constitutional matter. Of course, understanding political
gentleman's agreement.
Gentleman's agreement, political understanding. And you see, I have not seen where everybody sat down to say this is how it happened. It's just because it's going to this other place and because this one is going to the other place. That's why I keep saying that the Constitution should provide for that. This pure zoning, because that is who we are. People have also said, I was talking in one of your sister session one day, and somebody came up to say that that is not democratic. I said, by His grace, I have said by His grace that I have the privilege of going through the classroom of theoretical politics into this very harsh arena of practical politics that I am. I studied political science. And I know that what is democracy, after all, what is democracy in UK is not what is democracy in US. It does not make it less a democracy. In UK, they operate a cabinet system of government. In US, they operate presidential system. Even other countries that they operate presidential system of government, it's not the same thing. So democracy itself is the decision of the people. Meaning that if the people so decide that we'll be zoning this presidency and we should have three vice presidents, it is democratic because we've agreed.
According to the people.
According to the people. So our democracy shouldn't be told. You can't be looking at, after all, if you also say, okay, let us begin to take the prototype, which is like the UX. In UX, a father and mother can go for governor today and the other one goes for the easy. So it doesn't matter. But for us here, because we have a peculiar system, we are first a nation before we became this Nigerian field. We all came from, in fact, even in Ikwere, we have our dialects, even though we have central field. We know where all of us come from. And so if you begin to look at it from that way, so the only very close thing that would have solved certain problem is to zone it. And I tell you that if you enshrine zoning into the Constitution, things like the Biafra, things like, may go. It may go because, you see, don't forget, I have said it before. The Niger Delta Frontier, did what they did, and the only way Nigeria could compensate them, the only way, in fact, they started from Southwest. When Southwest, it was about Abiola and all of that. The only way Nigeria could compensate Southwest was to give Obasanjo presidency. And so when it came, then Jonathan, all of us, they came to us. And so you see that the Boko Haram now started, they gave to Buhari. And so the Igbo started, so they will give to Igbo. That may not be it, but I can tell you that is the trend at which, at which things are going. And it is not helping us. It is not helping us. So I think that we should be open enough to advocate for it at the Constitution. But right now, I've said, let us say all the truth. It may just be, like I've said, the man works with the governor, and you are taking this case to, like taking the case to the man who gave the man. You're taking this case to this man. They may have considered one thing. And most of them have said openly that he supports zoning. He has said that openly. He was one of those advocates that was looking for saying zoning. You have to zone this thing from this place to this other place. Chances are that the past local government chairman may have come from their own place. And so what these people are happy on is, no, the assembly is still here. So don't take it back here. Bring it here until when the assembly go. And these people are saying, no, you were there, and let it go here. I'm only assuming. Yeah.
All right. Honorable Churchill.
Yes. When I look at the issue about zoning, and I know too well that zoning is not in the Constitution, and it has really affected Nigeria so much. Zoning was the reason why we started this suffering we are suffering today. Why the G5 governors decided to back up Buhari, and they took over the government without considering the nature of the nation. And it has affected us up to the extent that Nigeria is indebted. So me, I am of the opinion that the right thing should be done. Not that zoning is bad. Zoning is not bad. Zoning is merely a gentleman agreement. Just like in my constituency, in my ward today, the councillorship is zoned from this community to this community based on seniority. And by the grace of God, when it gets to that community, if you are 20 that want to contest, they will call all of you and screen you, and whomever that emerges as a candidate should go. So, but I see the issue in Imo State to be issue that has to be treated. Now is in the public domain, but it's supposed to have been treated by the constituency leaders when I mean the constituency leaders, the south and the north, that emerges to be one constituency in Oguta. I have a friend that is from Oguta, the former House of Assembly member, and I know too well that he merged based on zoning. He merged based on zoning because during when he was contesting, he told me that it is in their own constituency, and he is from the south. Now it has been moved from the south to the north.
So it looks like
now what we are talking about is where the chairmanship go. If the south was in charge of the chairmanship before this time, that means it doesn't have to count. It has to go to the north.
Go to the north. Whether the person in the state house
is from the north. It doesn't have to be consequential.
All right.
So they should allow the system play itself. They shouldn't bring in sentiment that will now bring sympathy to their constituency or start to start to attract more sympathy to the persons in that constituency, while you cannot eat your cake and have it back.
But then they also talked about imposition of chairmanship candidates.
Now,
not just with regards to Oguta local government area,
but to the entire state.
Yes.
Now let me come to the imposition. You know, that is what happened in River State. I want to use River State as an instance.
All right.
You know, when the former governor told us clearly that he's not going to stand by any person to be a governor, that whomever that emerges to be a governor in River State, that the person, what is he going to gain with the person becoming a governor? After all, he will just be in his house. If the person needs his advice, he will give to him. But I find out that at the playing of the game, he played his own side to bring out a candidate. And the candidate emerged today as a governor. So one thing I know about politics, I understand in the life of politicians, is that politicians want their structure to remain till the last day they will die, but which is not the will of God at times. That is to say that no man who has any man to himself, even if when you want that man to be. Believing that imposition of candidate did not start today. It has started for long. And politicians see it that is the way they want to keep their structure. But it's very, very bad. Me, I'm against imposition of any candidate. But you cannot beat, when you can't beat them, you will join them. So if they fight the fight and they didn't succeed, they should forget about it to get to their turn. Nobody knows that somebody like Wike today will become a former governor of River State.
Why do you say so?
Nobody. No,
is it not in the constitution that
no,
when your tenure is done?
When I mean, I want to come to something. Okay, let me not use Wike.
No, let
me also use Amechi.
No, what exactly?
Nobody knows that Amechi will be the former governor of River State.
I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
When they are in seats, you understand? They tell you nothing is happening. Today, I might be a governor of River State today. But one thing I learned in politics, when I was a councillor, the day I was sworn in, something came to me. You understand? An understanding came to me. My brother, the way you are sworn in is the way you also leave office. Another person will be sworn in. So believe that your tenure ends today. I told my people in my address that day that my tenure has ended today. See me that I am no more a councillor. See me as your friend. See me as your brother. So, but people see this power to be very, very heavy on them.
If I may recall, Churchill, still on my show, you have also applauded the emergence of Simfubara because, according to you, it was Wike that brought Simfubara and he knows what we do not know and all of that. Now, you're coming back again to say that nobody can remain in power forever. I'm trying to...
But that is the truth. No, Wike brought in Simfubara.
What you said
yes,
initially.
Wike brought in Simfubara on his own. He knows how he did it. He succeeded in bringing Simfubara. So tomorrow, Simfubara will also leave office. You understand? Whether he will succeed to bring another person. But one thing is, imposing candidates on people is very, very bad.
But you supported Simfubara's emergence through Wike, didn't you?
Did I?
On my show, you were seated on.
I supported Steve Fubara.
You were seated exactly where Chizzy was sitting.
But he's a governor now.
What we are saying the same thing. You supported the FCT minister bringing in Sim Fubara. On this seat, exactly where Chizzy was seated, that was where you were seated.
I supported.
Now, you are now saying again something different, that imposition, well, it is...
What I'm saying is imposition of candidates to the people. It is very, very wrong.
All right.
So one thing everybody should bear in mind as a politician is that there is no office, even the presidency, there is no office that you will remain forever. So when you impose people to people, tomorrow you see somebody that is imposing to people, you shouldn't, in the other way around, think that the person is doing the wrong thing. So what you did first
is wrong.
It's wrong. It's
regardless of who is being imposed and who is imposing.
It's completely wrong.
Undemocratic.
It's completely wrong. And it doesn't call for the entire people, you understand, to enjoy the government. I believe that democracy, you understand, is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So it's only the people that makes democracy very, very active.
All right.
So when you impose people to them, that means you are making them irrelevant in the system of the game.
All right, Chizzy.
No, yes. I listened to my brother very well, you know, but I just wanted to say something. You know, there are things that you listen to and then you want to make clarifications. You see, this word imposition is purely relative.
All right.
You know, who is the president of US today? The president of US today. The president of US, his chief supporter was Obama. He was Obama's vice president.
Yes.
He was Obama's vice president. And the chief supporter of the president was Obama, isn't it?
Yes.
Today, the chief supporter of Kamala is the president.
Of course.
You know, in US, it is not imposition, it is support.
Here,
it's our level of political education.
All right.
Because see, what they call imposition is said, okay, now that I have supported this candidate, for instance, and you don't have to pick from. In fact, one of the things I fought in APC, maybe that's one of the things that's killing me. You know, I stood for the chairmanship of the APC in Rivers State. And then they told me that Amechi has announced Emeka Beke. They did that to Tinubu. They told Tinubu that Buhari has adopted somebody as his candidate. And Tinubu said, well, fine. Then his delegate should come and vote for the person, because he has his delegate. The only thing is that our level of political education has made also service to do that. If the man says, I am supporting, he's a man. There is nobody in the world, no king. If a king is alive and he wants to hand over to this person, no wonder a king begins to prepare somebody to hand over. Everybody prepares somebody to hand over. It is the onus on you to resist it or otherwise. Now, but if you cannot resist it, if you don't have the machinery to resist it. Amechi, while Amechi was going out from as governor, he brought in Dakuku, isn't it?
Yes.
But we fought it and got it. So we could have also had fought it. I said, I don't want to talk about like I said the last time, that the theory that played out in 2023 in Rivers State is a theory that I didn't know in politics. I'm trying to do a hypothesis that it will come up. I didn't know in politics, and it's going to be, and thank God, you know, theories are progressive. So maybe it evolves. Maybe this is one theory that I will have to use to do my PhD in one of them. Because you know, it's a very funny one that this people supported the other person supported the other person, they were swearing people. For me, it's not an imposition. For me, it's that you have made your will. You have said, this is what I want. You're a human being. You have a right to support. If the weight of your support is such that you can win the election, so be it.
All right.
No, but let me just, my brother Chizzy, please, when we are talking about imposition, to me, to my own understanding, I'm not talking about imposition generally. You understand? When it means that you are imposing candidate, you bring the person and the person becomes, you make the person governor. You impose somebody maybe from your party system. Sure. You understand? Yeah. Now, imposing somebody from your party system is the total people, you know, you have the power, you have the resources, and you are in charge. And you say, this is the person from your party system. And you walk towards, you understand? Even when the people vote against it. I know what we fought in 2015. It was not easy. It was not easy. To take over this state in 2015, it took a lot of pains. It took a lot of... You know how, yes, it took a lot of... And we took it as a bull by the horn. We took the bull by its horn.
That is what I'm saying.
But now, what I'm saying is that let's look at it that the imposing of candidature, both in the party system and the circular one, it is very, very wrong.
Now, Cheesy, it's told, probably you didn't understand what Cheesy was saying. What Cheesy was saying is that what you call imposition of candidates, to him, it's something that is obtainable at every strata of politics.
That is at every level of politics.
Both in Nigeria and abroad. And he used America as an example. Yes. He said that the current president of the United States enjoyed the blessing and support of Obama. And Kamala Harris now, who is also a presidential aspirant, a presidential candidate in the United States, is enjoying the full support of the current president. And even the past president of, President Obama
of the Democratic
as well. And I think Clinton as well. So when you look at it, one would say that these were their candidates. They were not hiding that these were their candidates. Now, the question is, probably you on your side, Churchill, probably you have the support, you're supporting somebody, but you do not have the clout to make that person win. While on the other hand, let's say a governor or a president may be supporting somebody, but has all the machineries and all the clout and the resources to push that person into power. So now, in that instance, would you say it's an opposition? Now, you, on the other hand, have also supported what he said without even knowing you're supporting Cheesy. When you said that in 2015, that you know what you did, and probably your people did as well, to take over the state. I'm using your language, by the way. To take over the power. They take over the state. I'm borrowing
because it was.
So now, it means that the governor, who was the incumbent governor at that time, had his anointed and somebody he was supporting and pushing his blessings. However, you know, Wike was the FCT minister at that time, was interested in the same position, and he pulled his own clout. You were supporting Wike. Yes. And I don't know where Cheesy was.
Cheesy was supporting Dakuku.
No, I was supporting Wike. I was
Cheesy was supporting Wike as well. So more of the grassroots person supported the FCT minister. Even though the incumbent at that time had an anointed person.
Had more money.
And probably the resources.
The state resources.
The FCT minister, who is the current FCT minister, and the Guba candidate at that time, was more of a grassroots politician. Regardless of the developmental strides of Amechi at that time, the election went in favor of Wike, and he emerged. So, what do you have to say to that?
The only thing is that, you know, when it came even to that of Wike, you know, people were telling us at that time that Power Karela, that we are coming with excess power from the federal level.
Okay, that's the meaning of Power Karela.
The power.
Excess power.
That is excess power. You know, that we are coming from a lot of power from the federal level.
Federal might as against power of incumbents.
All right. But that was not the only thing. The only thing is that we are more on ground.
Okay.
We are more on ground, and there was much sympathy, you understand, to that of whom is against our own son, being Goodluck Jonathan. Because Amechi was against our own son, and that was the campaign strategy that lured many of the rivers people to vote for the former governor, Wike. So, and that helped also in every down. You know, when you have more popularity, when you have population in politics, you win election. We had more people that believed that our son is supposed to be the president.
So probably at that point in time, going by what Cheesy had said, it's now left for these other persons who are kind of in position of candidates to re-strategize on how to counter the power of incumbents in Imo State. All right, interesting.